Hello everyone, welcome back. One of my videos from over the wintertime uploaded to CRS Firearms. I had sent them a bunch of videos to help out Matt, and they selected the point shooting one that I did over the wintertime. And I got some really great feedback in the comment section that I want to share with you guys and also sort of address. Now, first of all, a lot of guys were amused with the snowsuit that I wear during the wintertime, right? If you guys recall back in the winter when it was like -5 degrees here, I had the insulated snow camel pants, very practical for this area over here, all right? Of course, today it's only 30 degrees, so I just got the jacket on. Pretty warm by compared to what I had a few weeks ago. So, that's the first thing that came up as amusing. But some other really good points. One of the concerns that somebody brought up was with this idea of point shooting, right? Where you're not putting your sights on target, you're basically punching the gun out, and because you've done lots of shooting, you can punch the gun out and be reasonably confident that the bullets are going to go where you want them to go. One of the concerns was, what if you miss and you hit, innocent bystanders that are behind the threat? Okay, well, here's the thing. You always got to be aware of what's behind whatever you're shooting at. And, even in a situation where you go to your iron sights, you have to assume that some of your bullets are going to miss, all right? That is, that's just reality, right? You're not going to be as good as you normally are at the range. So you have to know what's beyond your target, or you have to position yourself or create a situation where that's less of a concern. And we're going to talk about that here today, because like I said, that was an excellent point that was brought up. It's really good that this video posted on a different channel to a different audience who has a different perspective that hasn't kind of been watching all my videos. So brings up some interesting things for discussion here. So what I'm going to be talking about today is the three different engagement distances, or three different self-defense distances. Okay, so the first one is grappling distance, okay, which is a situation that you're likely to be in if you get ambushed, okay? Or now in that type of situation, you're either, walking down, let's say, a street by yourself, and you get ambushed, or let's say you go into a public bathroom, you get ambushed by, let's say, 1, 2, 3 guys, whatever. Right, so this is a situation where you are most likely to be alone, and the self-defense that's going to happen is going to be almost at belly-to-belly distance, right? Almost that grappling distance, and so that's the most likely type of situation where you get ambushed, where you have no idea what's about to happen, where you didn't get a chance to observe your surroundings, to know where all the other people might be or not be, right? You just, completely ambushed. So in that type of a situation where you're being ambushed and you're basically fighting belly to belly, okay? The way I train, right, is basically there's going to be grappling, right? So you're either being attacked up high, so you're blocking up here, whether it's a bat or a knife that you're stabbing with, that they're trying to stab you with. You're blocking high, you're going to the gun, and you're shooting low. You're shooting at the hip. Now, look where the gun is positioned. It's basically in my ribs here, pointed down into the hip area, okay? Other type of situation is where they're basically attacking me low, maybe because they saw that I have a gun or whatever. So they're attacking low. I got one hand here, grappling. Other hand comes out, comes over the top, and is shooting down, okay? So in a grappling type of situation where either one hand is high, other hand is low, again, I'm shooting down, or this hand is low, this hand comes up high, again, I'm shooting down. If the bullets miss, they're going to go, like 6 feet in that direction, right? They're not going to go far because the gun is being angled down. And that's very realistic in the grappling type of situation. You can't even point shoot, right? Because you can't extend your arms. If you try and extend your arms, they're just going to grab the gun. So this doesn't qualify as point shooting. This is basically grappling. You're in a grappling situation. You're either defending high with one hand, shooting low with this hand, or defending low with this hand, shooting high from here. In all situations, the gun is pointed downwards, and that's how I practice that. That's that's just the way it's naturally going to work out, right? You're not going to go to full extension. You're not going to go to your sights. Okay. Now the other type of situation where it's a little further out. So let's say it's beyond grappling distance. Let's say it's somewhere between 3 feet and 20 feet. Okay. Now that's usually a situation where you're gonna. That's the distance that you're usually gonna point shoot. Okay. At 3 feet, you may still have to, kind of shoot from the hip, or maybe, shoot from a really close retention like this. Because at 3 feet, if you go to full extension, they can grab your gun. So most likely you'll be point shooting from this position here. But as you get further out to 20 feet, 25 feet, now you're gonna fully extend the gun. You're gonna point shoot it. Chances are you don't have time to get to your sights for that first shot. Okay. And what I talked about in the first video is the first shot, sometimes basically 50% chance that it hits, right? If you look at the statistics, right, my statistics, right, when I was doing that video where I was point shooting, about half the shots that I took when I was point shooting that target over there, about half of them hit, about half of them missed, all right? But usually with the second or third shot, I was able to get on target. So the first shot was basically suppression fire, which bought me some time to get to my reticle and take the second shot and get that on target. So the idea there is now, in that type of situation, right, that's a situation where there's usually going to be some indication that there's a problem developing, all right? It might be somebody yelling at you, screaming at you, cursing at you, waving a bat or a knife at you, going for a gun. You usually get a little time, right, to at least be aware. There's a situation where now you're going to be aware that something is about to happen and you're in danger, okay? And during that time, right, as the situation is developing, that's when you get a chance to look around and see who is where, and where's the nearest cover. Maybe that's a good opportunity to open up your jacket so you can get to your gun a little bit easier now. Okay, so that situation where you have a problem that's developing somewhere between 3 feet and 20 feet, where you've got like a little bit of time to look around, see what's going on. And in that time you can decide, well, hey, listen, if I have to shoot, I can shoot from here, or maybe this is a bad angle. Maybe I need to go here, right, so I can change the angle, okay? So that's the time when you figure out those things, right? Or maybe the solution is to go behind a piece of cover and shoot from there. And the reason is because in that type of a situation, somewhere where the problem is more than 3 feet away, inside of 20, usually no more than 20 feet away. I mean, it could be at 25 feet, but past 20 feet, I'm probably going to take that extra second and go to my sights or go to my reticle, okay? So somewhere between 3 feet and 20 feet is where we're point shooting the target, moving, right? Because again, things are happening really fast. You guys know how, even if somebody's just got a knife, how fast they can close, they can run 20 feet. And that's the reason why inside of 20 feet, I'm also looking to move. All right, I don't want to be a stationary target, especially if they got a gun. Because here's the thing, in a self-defense type of situation, we're almost always going to be on the defense, right? So we're reacting to somebody else, right? So in this case, I got my target over there. We're reacting to them defensively, okay? They have the advantage of knowing what they're going to do, right? And we have to react to whatever they do. And in most cases, they're not going to do something that requires us to use deadly force, right? Let's just get over that, right? They might be yelling, cursing, screaming, whatever. 99.9% of the time, we've all been in a situation like that. Then we're not going to have to shoot at them, right? We're not going to have to do that, right? So there's a very small chance that we're going to have to actually use the gun to protect ourselves because they're going to try and kill us. So we're training for that small percentage. However, we want to have the ability, we want to have the ready answer. So like I said, at that distance from 3 feet to 20 feet, as the situation develops, I have the time to look around and observe my environment, see where the cover is, open up my jacket so I can get to my gun a little bit easier, you know, figure out where my exits are, right? Maybe I can go out that way, maybe I can go out that way. And if they do something, right, I now have to react to it. And the answer might be that, hey, I don't have a piece of cover to go to. I don't have any place to retreat. I might have to return fire. If we stand still and return fire from this position here, remember, they're a step ahead of us at this point, right? If they go to their gun, we're reacting to them going to their gun. They draw their gun out, they start to extend. Okay, we see that. If we go to our gun with the intention of just pointing the gun at that person, they're going to beat us because they're a step ahead of us. By moving, we're taking initiative back. So by moving, all of a sudden, okay, by moving, I'm in a different position, and now I'm forcing them to react to me. Okay, so that's the advantage of moving. Okay, in that type of situation. Now, the next type of situation is one that happens more than 20 feet away, more than 25 feet away. Whether it's 20 or 25 feet away depends how good your point shooting is. But past 20 feet, I need to take a well-aimed shot. So at past 20 feet, right, I'm not going to take the shot unless I'm on my iron sights or unless I see my reticle and put it on target. Again, fully aware of what is behind my target. And almost certainly trying to move to cover first, because now I have the time to do that. Even if there's incoming fire, right? The chances are that if they're not taking well-aimed shots, there's a good chance that they're gonna miss. If I start point shooting, there's a good chance I'm gonna miss. So it makes sense for me to get to a piece of cover or to get stationary, get my sights on target, and take that well-aimed shot. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm gonna demonstrate those 3 type of distances, okay? So the 3 types of distances. So the one is where I'm right here, right? I'm being grappled, right? I'm being hit. I come up here, right? Take the gun out, right? Take the hip shot. See how the gun is pointed? It's pointed down. I didn't have to look at that. I didn't have to point shoot at that. Look where the bullet went, right? It went right in the middle of the hip. It's going to go there every time, at that type of a distance, okay? So the next type one is the one that we're at 20 feet or closer, and you got somebody over there. Maybe they're waving a shovel at you, a knife. Maybe I don't feel 100% threatened, but then they start running at you, right? Or they start going, under their shirt, whatever, and they start pulling out a gun. Now I got to react to that. I probably don't want to stay in that same spot, right? Because even if they're running at me, they're going to be running in this line over here, okay? The nice thing is that I can run that way and point the gun that way, right? So I can be moving this way, right, and shooting that way. So I can do that one-handed, two-handed. So stop, get back. So the first shot, I point shoot it. I just pointed at it. I did not see my reticle. It missed the target. It only missed by, I don't know, a couple of, maybe 6 inches to the left or the right. I mean, I saw the dirt move, okay? It was close, but it didn't hit. By the time, for the second shot though, I found my reticle, got it on target. That's freshly painted over there, so you can actually see the hit. It landed in the red zone, right in the center, right? Because I got the chance to get my sights on target. And again, I've done a separate video on this. The technique here is, the hit, you're really good at moving forward, right? Not so good at backpedaling. So even though I practice backpedaling and shooting, right, like that, even though I practice that, the better thing is to do this, right? Because in that situation, you're moving forward but away and turning the gun back and shooting. So I do practice both techniques, but I favor the one where I'm moving forward and shooting versus backpedaling and shooting, because it's really easy to basically trip and fall. But I also practice, hey, trip and fall, get your sights on target, shoot. Now when I do that, I practice at a different spot where the berm is a lot higher, so I can shoot at a much higher angle. Okay? Now the third option is, like, I got that target back there. They're screaming, yelling. It doesn't matter what they're doing yet. They're far enough away where, you know, they could be waving a knife back there. Over there, they're about 40 feet away, right? So even if they're waving a knife, they're really not a threat to me. However, if a gun comes out, now all of a sudden they're a threat. And at that point, I'm gonna go to my gun, but I'm gonna find my sights first and then get on target. Hey, dude, just stay over there, right? Stop that shit. Stop it. Stop. Get the gun down. Get down, 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 down. So I took my time with that. I did make that lateral move, right? I made that lateral move because, again, here's the thing. If you stay stationary, they know where you're at, okay? If you start moving and you stop, you know, because now there's three choices. Once you start moving, they don't know where you're going to stop. Am I going to stop here? Am I going to stop there? Or am I going to stop there? You know, even if they start shooting at you, they might shoot to your last position, or they might shoot past you. So it brings back the initiative to my favor, right? Because I decide now when I'm going to stop and when I'm going to take that well-aimed shot, okay? So the three distances, right? Grappling distance, right? Grappling distance, you're fighting up here. Gun comes out like this, or you're fighting down here, gun comes over the top. In all cases, the gun's pointed down, right? Whether I'm here, and also the hands are always not on the same line. One hand high, one hand low, okay? Otherwise, you shoot yourself in the hand, okay? So the hands are never together, okay? One high, one low. So that's the grappling distance. The other one is that 3 foot to 20 foot, where most likely you're gonna point shoot that first shot, because if you don't, there's a good chance that if you take the extra time, you know, it might be too late. All right. So here's the thing. Like I mentioned earlier, in that video, in the first video that I did, where I did a lot of that point shooting, about 50% of my point shooting first shot was on target. Right. So I've got a 50% chance of getting on target with that first shot, you know, out to about 20 feet. Right. So I you know what? If I'm comfortable that it's safe to shoot, and there's, you know, in terms of there's no innocent people behind my threat, why not take that shot? You know, why not shift the odds to my favor? 50% chance I make that first shot. If I don't make the first shot, I'll make the second shot. Right? Second shot, I go to my sights, or I go to my reticle, and I get that second shot. Right? So the first shot, you know, it's either going to hit or it's going to be suppression fire for the second shot, and then, you know, past 20 feet, I almost always want to go to my iron sights or my reticle and take a well-aimed shot. There's no reason not to. You're not, you know, if you're at that distance, you're pretty much just wasting bullets if you're not taking well-aimed shots. So a couple of things for you guys to think about. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe and hit that bell button so you get notifications. And also look for me on the new channel I set up. Absolute Guns, because the Safa channel and Pocono Shooting each have 2 strikes from YouTube. So I created a third channel that's clean. And this way, if these channels get shut down, you guys can find me over there at Absolute Guns. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to all the channels, and I'll talk to you all soon. You know, you could have a situation where all 3 things happen to you at one time at all 3 ranges. Yo, stop it, yo! So that time, I was able to point shoot that way and get the first hit. Okay? So sometimes it works, and if I missed, I just would have took another shot because I bought myself some time. However, for that guy over there, I stopped, planted myself, took a well-aimed shot, but he didn't know exactly where I was going to stop. So again, keeping the initiative, I'm keeping the initiative for myself. Talk to you all soon.